The Red Bull era, as we have known it for 2 decades, officially ended the moment Adrian Newey walked away from his drawing board. For years, the genius of one man acted as a bulletproof shield for Milton Keynes, masking engine deficits with aerodynamic miracles. But as the 2026 revolution looms, the empire is suddenly exposed. The RB22 is not just a car, it is a billion-dollar declaration of independence. For the first time, Red Bull is attempting the impossible, building their own power unit from the ground up, while simultaneously navigating a world without Newey's intuition. This isn't a gradual transition, it's a high-speed leap into a dark abyss. With Ford's logo on the engine cover and Christian Horner fighting to maintain a fracturing stability, the stakes have never been higher. Is the energy drink giant about to prove that the system is bigger than the individual, or are we witnessing the slow, agonizing sunset of a dominant dynasty? Today, we peel back the layers of secrecy surrounding the RB22 project to analyze the mechanical risks that could either cement Verstappen's legacy or send him searching for a seat elsewhere. Behind the reinforced concrete walls of the new Powertrains division, a quiet anxiety is vibrating through the floorboards. While the internal combustion side of the project, heavily supported by Ford's resources, is reportedly hitting its targets, the real nightmare lies in the electrical integration. The 2026 rules demand a monstrous 350 kilowatt output from the E-motor, and this is where Red Bull is entering a world of pain. Rumors from the paddock suggest that Mercedes and Honda are significantly ahead in energy recovery efficiency, leaving Red Bull's first-ever in-house battery pack struggling to maintain consistent deployment. When Helmut Marko and Max Verstappen publicly praise Mercedes' engine progress, it's not out of respect, it's a tactical warning. They know that in a 50-50 hybrid era, being not far behind is the same as being a sitting duck on the straights of Monza and Spa. The transition from being a customer to a manufacturer is a dark art, and Red Bull is currently a student facing a final exam against the professors of Brixworth. If this electrical deficit isn't solved before the first fire-up, the RB22's aerodynamic efficiency will be a moot point. While the engine room fights for horsepower, the design office under Pierre Waché has made a decision that signals a total departure from the Newey era. For years, Red Bull's secret weapon was its pull rod front suspension, which perfected the airflow to the underfloor tunnels. But for the RB22, the team has pivoted to a double pushrod configuration. This is a massive mechanical risk. By switching to a pushrod setup at the front, Red Bull is sacrificing the extreme aerodynamic ceiling Newey loved in favor of mechanical predictability and packaging simplicity. The 2026 chassis is narrower and more sensitive to active aero movements, and Waché is betting that a stable, predictable car will be faster than a radical one that is impossible to drive. This shift confirms that the technical philosophy in Milton Keynes is no longer driven by artistic intuition, but by hard engineering pragmatism. It is a safer bet, but in a sport where the margins are measured in milliseconds, safer can often be the enemy of champion. If the RB22 cannot generate the same front-end bite that Verstappen craves, the entire project could stall before the first corner. Physics, unfortunately for Red Bull, does not care about heritage or marketing budgets. The 2026 regulations mandate a 30-kilogram weight reduction, but the new power units are essentially heavy anchors made of lithium and copper. This has triggered a brutal gram war inside the factory. Every square millimeter of the RB22 is being scrutinized for weight. We are likely entering the era of the naked Red Bull. Rumors suggest that the iconic matte navy blue could be replaced by raw, unpainted carbon fiber, leaving only a few stickers for sponsors. When you are fighting a heavy battery pack, paint is a luxury you cannot afford. This weight struggle isn't just about straight-line speed, it's about the car's dynamic balance. Being even 5 kilograms over the limit shifts the center of gravity and destroys the tire longevity that has been Red Bull's trademark. The technical team is literally fighting against the scale, and in the early simulations the scale is winning. If they cannot hit that 30-kilogram diet, they are starting the season with a massive physical handicap that no amount of aero magic can fix. Structure provides stability, but in 2025, the foundation of Red Bull finally cracked. The departure of Adrian Newey was the earthquake, but the loss of Jonathan Wheatley was the aftershock that disrupted the team's operational rhythm. Into this vacuum steps Laurent Mekies, inherited with the task of leading a team in deep transition. This isn't the tight-knit family of the Vettel or early Verstappen years anymore, it's a corporate entity undergoing a painful cleaning of the house. While Mekies is a proven administrator, he is managing a personnel roster that has been raided by Ferrari and Mercedes for years. The human capital in Milton Keynes is at its thinnest in a decade. This instability is exactly why Max Verstappen's exit clauses are the most talked about documents in F1. Verstappen doesn't care about corporate structure, he cares about the stopwatch. If the RB22 feels immature, or the Ford engine lacks the punch in the first 3 races, the risk of the world's best driver walking away becomes a mathematical certainty. Red Bull is fighting to prove they don't need a single genius to win, but they are doing it with a team that is still learning how to speak to each other without their leader. If history has taught us anything, it's that Red Bull never shows their real car during the launch. On January 15th, when the RB22 is officially unveiled, the car you see will be a ghost, a simple shell designed to satisfy sponsors while the real aerodynamic secrets remain locked in the wind tunnel. The moment of truth arrives on January 26th at the private Barcelona test, but initial reports from the simulator are alarming. Across the grid, the 2026 cars are currently 3 to 4 seconds slower than their predecessors. This massive performance gap is Red Bull's biggest opportunity and their greatest threat. Their strategy is one of extreme secrecy and rapid evolution. They are prepared for sleepless nights and painful months, as Mekis put it, focusing purely on engine reliability in Spain before unleashing a radical aero package in Bahrain. It's a game of hide and seek played at 300 km per hour. But with Mercedes reportedly hitting massive numbers on their dyno tests, Red Bull might find themselves in the nightmare position of playing catch-up for the first time in years. The RB22 isn't just a car, it's a desperate race against time before the first light in Australia reveals who was bluffing and who was truly ready. Ultimately, the RB22 represents the most dangerous gamble in Formula One history. Red Bull has bet their entire future on the idea that they can out-engineer the world's biggest car manufacturers without the man who made them famous. The technical sidetracking into double pushrod suspension, the weight crisis and the Ford power unit anxiety all point to a season of chaos. Red Bull is no longer the untouchable titan, they are a vulnerable king fighting to keep the crown. Whether they master the 2026 regulations or fall into the midfield, the hierarchy of the sport is about to be shattered forever. What do you think? Can Milton Keynes survive without Newey's drawing board, or is the Ford project a bridge too far? Let us know in the comments below. This is Formula Perspective, and the future is closer than it looks. Subscribe to stay ahead of the curve.